Occasionally, in my first 5 and other segments in the show, I try to talk about things happening on college campuses, not just because they impact America's future, which they do, not because they are kind of a signal of where leftists are coming from, what they think about, but really it is an amazing insight into the power it seems that the American left seems to have, or my good friend always says, the anti-American left seems to have in shaping cultural norms, in shaping what we think is right, what we think is true. Quick stories in the first 5 before we go to our guest, Dr. Everett Piper. One story comes out of Michigan State University forced the vice president of research and innovation, a professor, to resign because he had done a great deal of research and published and agreed with data that showed that there actually is no racial bias with respect to the decisions made by police officers in situations when they choose to fire their weapons or not. No statistical basis for arguing there's racial discrimination in police officer shootings. These are just facts. In fact, they were facts presented by another professor who had done an in-depth study to respond to understand what the truth was about whether or not there are more officer-involved shootings statistically unfairly against Black Americans as opposed to other Americans, and the data were clear and said no. This poor guy chose to side with that. His name is Stephen, and he's an Asian gentleman. His last name is HSU, so I'm not sure if you say Hu or Su, but however you pronounce his last name. Forced to resign from his position as vice president of research, can continue to be a professor there, a professor of physics, so he's obviously a really bright guy teaching physics, but he dared say things that the American left is deciding you're not allowed to say. No talking about this issue. Next story, Marquette University. A young girl, she isn't even there at Marquette yet. She's starting in the fall, but she was threatened by Marquette for having her admission rescinded because she did a TikTok video, which is this, one of these, the many, apps young people tend to like, but TikTok video, talking about how she likes President Trump. That was what brought Marquette to say. In fact, she was a little bit taunting people who don't like President Trump. And she had a video titled, "When the libs find their way to your page, when people see that I support Trump, then they try to hate on me. And they think that I'll change my views." And she's, saying, I won't. I support President Trump. Marquette actually threatened, didn't do it, but threatened rescinding her admission. Next story, a school, this is actually an elementary school, maybe a K through 12, it's not a college level. It's a charter school, the KIPP Thrive Academy, Newark, New Jersey, announced it is abandoning the motto it has had since 1994. The motto outside the school used to say, work hard, be nice. And they gave an explanation why they had to change their motto. KIPP Academy changed their motto because the slogan diminishes the significant effort to dismantle systemic racism. Don't even see that one. And also places value on being compliant and submissive. I guess you're saying you shouldn't be nice, or somehow be nice implies you shouldn't speak up about things that are wrong, which is not true at all. You can be nice and speak up about things that are wrong. And the most telling and I think damning of the reasons they gave for taking the motto down was supports the illusion of meritocracy. You see, America is a deeply unfair place. And so therefore, if they have anything that seems to give credence to the idea that a meritocracy exists in this country, that's wrong, can't have that. And this school, by the way, this charter school since 1995 is 99% Black or other non-Caucasian students, very successful in getting students prepared for the world, very successful in getting kids moving on to go to college. A really great thing someone did, but they're being bullied by the leftist BLM, SJW agenda. One more story, and I actually want to ask, or two more stories. One more story very quickly at the school that I never understood why people who went there would agree to the nickname of the school, but at University of Pittsburgh, often calling itself Pitt, P-I-T-T, there is a student group, a coalition of Black student groups demanding of the school that the university fire any employee dubbed racist by the Black-only student council. Any employee dubbed racist by the Black-only Student Council should have to leave. And to be precise, they're not just saying we want investigations, we want have you look into this. Faculty and staff with one incident, this is their statement, the student group. Faculty and staff with one incident or complaint of racial bias, excessive force, unlawful arrest, detainment should be terminated and banned from the university campus immediately if found at fault. So a lot of students demanding that they get to tell, and they also, by the way, want to end the protection of free speech on that campus. They're talking about there can't be the right of free speech for faculty and other people at that college. Folks, if there's not free speech on campus, how in the world are they ever going to learn or talk about anything? Last case, very new case and very interesting one, Hardin-Simmons, which is a Christian college. Hardin-Simmons had a student who posted a video, again on this TikTok app. This young girl did a video in which she was, instead of laying out a bunch of statistics that people might kind of glaze over, you know, that MEGO, mine eyes glaze over, you don't really read things. Instead of just statistics, she did a little 17-second, I think it was, or 19-second video in which she said, here's how society responds in these 3 different situations. When a black person kills a white person, and she stands there basically saying society doesn't care if a black person kills a white person, or her second choice, when a black person kills a black person, and then she imitates looking at her watch like she's is such a boring bit of news she can't even bother responding, and then when people, how people react when a white person kills a black person, and then she has this dramatic flames behind her and her looking angry. Her point being, obviously, it was a playing out of the observation many Americans are making, which is we're very, very targeted on a small set of instances in this country, which some of them are wrong. Some of them need corrections. Some police departments need investigations. Some officers need retraining. Some officers may need to be terminated. Some officers may need to be prosecuted based on the facts. But she's getting at the observations so many people are making that we have an inordinate reaction to one set of facts and really not much of a reaction at all when there are other deaths. And so she didn't say bad words. She didn't use racist terms. She didn't use swear words. It was just a little video, 17 or 19 seconds, and she was forced to leave the school. She's no longer there, and the spokesperson for this school, Hardin-Simmons, the primary statement made, he came out and made a video. I decided not to play it for you. He made a video essentially saying, you know, we support Black Lives Matter, and anything insensitive to the mission of Black Lives Matter is intolerable in our campus. We won't allow it. So with that, my friends, that was today's First Five. I'll just wrap it up by saying I think it's really important, these stories about college campuses, they may seem secondary to the political issues we often talk about, to the political environment, but what we really are watching is the impact on America's culture, and young people, what they learn at college, what they think is normal, what they learn from college as to what is normal, what is permissible, what is right and wrong, that ends up shaping our American culture. And that, my very fine friends, is today's First Five.